Hey everybody, it's me, Shaw360, and I did a live stream last night, but I had to delete it because I was listening to music, and copyright is a thing, it's a problem. But I wanted to re-record a little bit of what I talked about last night because, I don't know, I wanted to keep it on my channel, and so that's why I'm going to talk about the same things. So if you watched my live from last night, this is all repeat information. But I wanted to talk about the Road to Kingdom. So, The Road to Kingdom is like a prequel type of show for a reality show called Kingdom. I know, that sounds really crazy. What's a prequel to a reality show? But basically, there was a show called Queendom, and that show had Mamamoo, AOA, Oh My Girl, Lovelies, G-Idol, and Park Bom. And they were all on the show, and they were competing for a comeback stage. So basically, whenever boy bands come back, there's usually like this big comeback stage, a showcase and everything. And the girls were competing for their own comeback stages and showcases. So Mamamoo ended up winning that season. The show was very well received because it didn't have a bunch of drama and controversy and stuff. So they said, if it worked for the girls and we can't do produce anymore, let's do it for the boys and we'll call it Kingdom. Because, you know, queens, kings, get it. Well, they said, the public loves boys. Boys sell like hotcakes. So let's drag this out. And instead of just doing Kingdom, let's do Road to Kingdom. And we'll take some groups that maybe are known or brand new that haven't really gotten their footing in the industry, and we'll have them compete for a slot on Kingdom. And the ones that I know are on the show, I don't know who all the groups are, but the ones that I know are on the show is a group called 2, a group called ONF, ONEUS, Golden Child, Pentagon, The Boys, and there may be some other groups that I'm just not remembering right now because this is a brand new show. I haven't had a chance to watch it. Well, they had their first episode come on and they had 4 performances, and I think the theme of the night was like king performances. So basically it's performances by groups that are already kind of decided by the industry to be legendary. So the performances they had a performance of Rising Sun by TVXQ, a performance of T.O.P. by Shinhwa, a performance of Everybody by Shiny, and they had a performance of Warrior's Descent by H.O.T. And so I watched all 4 performances, and for the most part, they were enjoyable. ONEUS did their performance of Warrior's Descent by H.O.T., and I really liked it. Apparently, the theme of their performance was an anti-bullying message. The performance itself reminded me of the video for NO by BTS. And then, like, with Warriors, I don't know, just a lot of the choreography stuff, it reminded me of very young, very early kind of acrobatic BTS. And that's not shade. That's not shade. I really appreciated the performance because if you guys have watched my channel for long enough, you know my favorite BTS is early BTS. So I thought they had a good performance. The only thing that I didn't like is they had like choreographed fights, and I thought the choreography could have been a little bit tighter. It was supposed to be a stage of kind of like organized chaos, and whenever you have that, it tends to come across a little bit sloppy, but I think it got the point across, so I appreciated the performance. The next performance of the evening that I saw was Rising Sun with 2, T-O-O, that's the name of their group. I thought that it was really nice choreography. Now, I will say, I thought that their outfits made it to where everyone looked like backup dancers. Nobody really stood out in the entire group to me. Vocal-wise, I wasn't super impressed, but I love that because they had so many more members in TVXQ, they were able to do some really impressive stuff with their choreography. There's one move in particular where like one member stands in the middle and the rest of the members become pieces of the sun around them. That was really fly. Really, really good. You should watch that performance. But yeah, 2, I think that they tried very, very hard, but it was too much. It's too much, you know? There's too many of you. I think they should have done something to like break up the costuming so that they didn't all look the same. The next performance, my favorite performance of the evening, was Golden Child doing T.O.P. by Shinhwa. That performance was so good. Oh my gosh. I think the reason why it was my favorite performance is because it just was like interesting the whole way through. Vocal wise, I can't really compare them to Shinhwa because I don't even remember what the original song sounds like. But I thought they had some good vocal performances, but the dancing, the choreography was just gorgeous. They had backup dancers that had these fans, these ombre fans, and they would stand next to members of Golden Child and wave the fans, and it would look like the wings of a bird because it was a Swan Lake theme. Oh, man, what a gorgeous stage. I don't check for Golden Child like that, but I know Carolyn is a really big fan, Wanhade, and so I was really impressed, and I can see why she's a fan of the group if they have stages like that all the time. And then lastly, there was ONF doing SHINee's Everybody. I didn't like it. And I've seen a lot of debate on Twitter. I've seen Xiaoao saying you should support them because they did a cover of a song that not everybody covers, and they have a right to make it their own, and, you know, we can't expect people to copy. They have to be fresh and inventive. Yeah, I get all that. Just because you change it doesn't mean I have to give you a pass for it. There's a lot of times when people try to make stuff their own, but maybe making it your own is shitty. And I barely recognized the song. Like, they slowed it down and they darkened it up in the very beginning, and so I really had a hard time recognizing they were performing Everybody. And then they took the choreo and they threw out major chunks of the choreography, and so again, it wasn't recognizable to me as a SHINee stage or song. And this is the thing, and I talked about it in my live, the reason why some of these songs hold up years later, like Everybody was released in 2013. It is now 2020. That is a 7-year-old song. The reason why that song still holds up 7 years later is because of the energy it gives you. The feeling that you get when you hear it, the way the choreography worked with the song. There's not just one thing. It wasn't like, oh, it was a good song, so that's why people still listen to it. It's everything. And I feel like the person who came up with that stage, or the people who came up with that stage, they forgot about that. They forgot that it's not just about, oh, it's a SHINee song so everybody likes it. No, it's because the song gives you a certain kind of energy. The choreo is really engaging. There's parts of the choreo we all look forward to whenever we see that performance, and they just lost the plot. One of my favorite parts of the choreo for Everybody is like when everybody's on the ground and Minho goes and he turns everybody on. They didn't do that. They didn't, the airplane choreography, they did half of it. Like, there's the part where Onu swings his arms. They didn't do that. They had a backup dancer do that. It matters. It's not there for no reason. It matters. It's a part of the storytelling. It's a part of the vibe. And if you wanted a dark SHINee song, you should have picked a dark SHINee song. I asked last night, what songs do people not covered by SHINee that you'd like to see covered? And several people said the song Evil. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Like, if you want to do a dark, very masculine SHINee song, if you want to do something that, you know, not everybody does, but is very SHINee and very dark and, you know, like, ooh, Evil's perfect. Evil's perfect because already the song is kind of dark. You don't have to change too much about it. But also, it has the blindfold choreography, which is stunning. Absolutely stunning. And if you want to get on that stage and really impress people, SHINee's only 5 members. They've got 7 members of that group. Everybody could have blindfolded themselves and did the blindfold choreography. It would have been amazing. It would have been really great. Or, like, if you want to even go more recent SHINee, you could have done the Tell Me What to Do stage. It has those really pretty scarf choreography moments. There's things you could do. There's things you could have done. You didn't have to totally butcher everybody to get a stage together. And I'm sorry, this may be a place where, you know, veteran Xiaoaos, we diverge in opinion. I'm not going to give you credit just because you did the assignment. Like, if I was a teacher, I'm not going to give you credit just because you turned in the assignment. You can get a C, but I'm going to tell you to do better. Whereas if you actually did something creative with your essay, then I'm going to give you bonus points for that. And I don't know. It felt too much like they took SHINee's Everybody and they had an agenda before going on the stage. And they said, let's just push parts of SHINee into this, but let's get across our style more. And it didn't work for me because their style is just far too different than what Everybody is as a song and a concept. So that's my personal opinion. But I wanted to make sure I recorded that and I put it on my channel because Sarah asked me about it, and so I wanted to let her know about that. Other things I talked about last night. I talked about IU and IU and Suga's new song, 8. It's not a bad song, it's just not my style. It's very Spring Day-esque, and Spring Day has never been one of my favorite songs, so yeah, it's just not my style, but it's a good song. As a Shawol, though, I'm really sick of hearing Junghyun's name in people's mouth. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I would never mean it in a disrespectful way. It's just that people watch that video and they're like, oh, Junghyun is the lizard, and this is her talking about all of her dead friends. And you know what? You don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all that. If it is a tribute to her dead friends, we don't have to assign people to parts of the song. It could just be a feeling. It could just be describing an emotion. It doesn't have to be that Junghyun is the lizard. Why has it got to be like that? I don't know why people get off on talking about people that have died and, like, I don't know, fetishizing people who have killed themselves. That's really what it is. It's a fetish. It is a fetish. People call it, like, what do they call it? Not torture porn. That's wrong. It's like grief porn, I guess is what they call it. Yeah, it's a fetish. People really get off on talking about people who have killed themselves, and they like making them like these holier than thou mythical creatures who live lives with either no sin or all sin, and they forget the humanity of these people. They get so caught up in the image of them as a young tortured soul that they forget, like, these people had joyous moments, they had silly moments, they had sexy moments, they had hard moments, they had soft moments, they had all of these things in their life, because just like every person walking the face of the planet, we're not all a monolith. We're not all one emotion. We're several different things. We have several different options in our emotional rainbow and scale. And the people who throw his name out there just to be like, oh, look at this, get out of here. Get out of here. It really makes me question if you ever knew him at all, if you ever loved him at all. Because if you did, then you know who he was. If you knew Junghyun in his life, then you knew that he wasn't just one thing. And you can go back and watch clips of him on all the shows that he did and listen to old Blue Nights and know he was a bunch of things. A bunch of things. He wasn't just this symbol of all that's wrong in K-pop. He wasn't a symbol of all that's wrong with the mental health community. He wasn't that. He was himself. He was somebody's brother. He was somebody's son. He was somebody's best friend. He was a colleague. He was a mentor. He was a leader. He was a protege. He was all of these things. And using him for some sick grief porn that you've got going on, it's disrespectful. And I mean it for not just Junghyun, I mean it for Sully, and I mean it for Guhara. They were more. They were more. And I really want to fist fight the people who want to use them to highlight, oh, it's such a beautiful tribute to these two people, and IU is just so deep, and Suga is the perfect producer to bring out these feelings in her because he's such a genius too. Go away. Go away. Like, what you're saying might be all true and stuff, but I have yet to hear anybody talk about the song as a song. Like, everyone keeps talking about what a beautiful tribute it is, what a beautiful memorial it is, and, you know, how symbolic it is. What about the song? Is this a song that you'll be listening to a year from now, 2 years from now? I still listen to Ballad. But, like, for real, are these songs that you're going to be listening to a long time from now? Because I kind of doubt it. I feel like all these people who are fetishizing this music, you're not going to be listening to this music later on. This is just, again, like one of those I'm bored at the house, let's chase some clout type things. And I could live without it, y'all. I could seriously live without it. But yeah, those are the things that I talked about last night. I think I talked about some more stuff in the news. I had a rant about coronavirus and wanting to go outside. I can't remember everything else because it was late at night when I did my live stream. But in case you can't tell, I got my hair cut. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I finally got my hair cut. It was a surreal experience. I went to Supercuts because the Supercuts around here is now open. But they've got like limited opening. They can't have any more than 2 customers in the building. You have to set an appointment, and you have to wear a mask during your entire appointment. And at first I'm like, how in the hell am I going to get my hair shaved with a mask on? But it totally worked. It's done. It's totally done. But yeah, it was a really weird experience. I had a mask, the stylist had a mask. They had to take my temperature while I was there. They had to sanitize the pen that I used to sign the waiver saying that I wouldn't hold them liable if I get COVID. Like, it's like living in the apocalypse. It's bizarre, but I did it, and I'm so happy because Mama's going through menopause right now. I get these hot flashes, and having all that hair around my ears is bugging the shit out of me. So I'm very happy to be getting a haircut, even if I did have to do it in a hazmat suit. But anyway, that's all I have for now. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, any questions you have for me, I'll be glad to answer. Oh, I forgot. We talked about Young Cream from MIB being arrested for chasing some woman while he was high on marijuana. Yo, I don't think that's weed, guy. I've never heard of nobody going crazy like that from some fucking weed. You know, maybe I'm just not used to the new weed. Not that I ever really smoked like that. I only ever smoked weed one time. It was when I was 17 years old. I was at a house party and I smoked weed one time in my entire life, and I ended up getting bit by a ferret. After that, I never touched the stuff again. But yeah, I've never heard of nobody smoking weed that caused them to run around and chase some lady because they were high. Like, no, that sounds like, if it is weed, it's weed mixed with something else. It's not just straight weed. It's weed mixed with, I don't know, wet or something else. But all that being said, Young Cream, if it's got you out here acting like this, maybe you need to go to rehab. Maybe you need to find some other way to deal with your emotions, because you shouldn't get so high that you are out here acting wild and possibly hurting somebody else, because who knows what he would have done when he caught her. Like, if he's chasing her, what did you plan to do when you caught her, really? So yeah, you need to seek help. Help is important for you. Don't be out here like this. This is not what we want to see for you. We want to see good things for you. But anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget to watch Good Girl when it premieres, because it is our favorite show, family. We will be talking about it as the episodes go on, especially Queen Wasabi. Look at my titties. Look at my booty. Look at my titties. Look at my booty. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So yeah, be watching for that show, and also subscribe to MBK Pop 1997 if you want to see our Boys Love content, because we're going to be doing a review of End of Love Mechanics on the weekend. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, thank you so much. Bye!